Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Part 2. Do not commit to anyone, stay above the fray. Do not let people drag you into their petty fights and squabbles. Seem interested and supportive, but find a way to remain neutral. Let others do the fighting while you stand back, watch, and wait. When the fighting parties are good and tired, they will be ripe for picking. You can make it a practice, in fact, to stir up quarrels between other people, then offer to mediate, gaining power as the go-between. The kites, the crows, and the fox. The kites and the crows made an agreement among themselves that they should go halves in everything obtained in the forest. One day they saw a fox that had been wounded by hunters, lying helpless under a tree, and gathered round it. The crows said, "We will take the upper half of the fox. Then we'll take the lower half," said the kites. The fox laughed at this and said, "I always thought the kites were superior in creation to the crows. As such, they must get the upper half of my body, of which my head with the brain and the other delicate things in it forms a portion." "Oh yes, that is right," said the kites. "We will have that part of the fox." "Not at all," said the crows. "We must have it, as already agreed." Then a war arose between rival parties, and a great many fell on both sides, and the remaining escaped with difficulty. But the fox continued there for some days. The fox prolonged his life by turning the kites and the crows against each other, because kites and crows committed to one side, to one idea of having either the top half or bottom half of the fox, when really it didn't matter. As a result of their commitment and steadfastness to not change their opinion, conflict arose, and many fell, many died. This happens in real life. People always commit too far to one side, and they may not die, okay, but they may lose a friend, they may lose money, they may lose an opportunity, they may lose a wife or a partner or husband. A loss is usually taken when people commit too heavily to one side and they refuse to let up. But sometimes, no, you have to not let up and you have to stand your ground, but more often than not, it results in a loss, as this story has told. Keys to power. Now, what I'm about to read is honestly one of the best parts of the book so far. One of the most relevant, one of the most important things, I think, so far. I highlighted the shit out of it, so it's a little bit, but I think it's critical to understand. To succeed in the game of power, you have to master your emotions. But even if you succeed in gaining such self-control, you can never control the temperamental dispositions of those around you. And this presents a great danger. Most people operate in a whirlpool of emotions, constantly reacting, churning up squabbles and conflicts. Your self-control and autonomy will only bother and infuriate them. They will try and draw you into the whirlpool, begging you to take sides in their endless battles or to make peace for them. If you succumb to their emotional entities, little by little you will find your mind and time occupied by their problems. Do not allow whatever compassion and pity you possess to suck you in. You can never win in this game. The conflicts can only multiply. On the other hand, you cannot completely stand aside, for that would cause needless offense. To play the game properly, you must seem interested in the other person's problems, even sometimes appear to take their side. But while you make outward gestures of support, you must maintain your inner energy and sanity by keeping your emotions disengaged. No matter how hard people try to pull you in, never let your interest in their affairs and petty squabbles go beyond the surface. Give them gifts, listen with a sympathetic look, even occasionally play the charmer. But inwardly keep both friendly kings and the perfidious Borgias at arm's length. By refusing to commit and thus maintaining your autonomy, you retain the initiative. Your moves stay matters of your own choosing, not defensive reactions to the push and pull of those around you. Slowness to pick up your weapons can be a weapon itself. Even if you let other people exhaust themselves fighting, then take advantage of their exhaustion. There is so much power in what I just said, in what Robert Greene just wrote. It's hard to even speak on it. I don't think I really need to say any more. Just play that back, read it again. Page 152, 48 Laws of Power, if you got the book in front of you, read it again, highlight it, put it up on your wall. Oftentimes when a conflict breaks out, you are tempted to side with the strongest party. That's natural, right? You want to be with the one with the most power, the strongest party, the one that offers you the best advantages. But this is risky. One, because it's difficult to foresee which side will prevail in the long run. We've seen so many times great sports teams, basketball teams, NBA teams, who are notorious for winning, fall by weaker teams, by supposedly weaker teams. And people had put so much money on a certain team and they lost. But even if you guess right and you ally yourself with the stronger party, you may find yourself swallowed up and lost, or conventionally forgotten when they become victors. Side with the weak, on the other hand, and you are doomed. But play the waiting game and you cannot lose. What happens when people rush into situations and committing so quickly? You not only lose maneuverability, but people lose respect in you. You know, if you commit so quickly to things so haphazardly, you let people know how easily you give yourself away. Because that's how people will perceive it. Even if it's a positive, a lot of people can perceive it that way. Remember, you have only so much energy and so much time. Every moment wasted on the affairs of others subtracts from your strength. You may be afraid that people will condemn you as heartless, but in the end, maintaining your independence and self-reliance will gain you more respect and place you in a position of power from which you can choose to help others and your own initiative. We get caught up so much feeling guilty, feeling like we need to help this person and that person. We can't help everybody. I can't help everybody. Right? I want to, but I can't. So I only have so much energy and time, as do you. So if you have family and friends and a partner that you want to help, and you have a business, and you have the homeless man on the street who asking you for money every day, you have to learn to say no, because you have a finite amount of everything. Everything is a finite amount. So don't waste your moments because you feel guilty, or you feel like you're compelled to do something for somebody else because you don't owe anybody anything and they don't owe you anything. Reversal. Both parts of this law will turn against you if you take it too far. If you play too many parties against one another, they will see through the maneuver and will gang up on you. Keep your growing number of suitors waiting too long, you will inspire, not desire, but distrust. People will start to lose interest. Eventually you may find it worthwhile to commit to one side, if only for appearance's sake, to prove you are capable of attachment. Even then, however, the key will be to maintain your inner independence, to keep yourself from getting emotionally involved. Law 20, Part 2, do not commit to anyone.